The Minnesota Golden Gophers have a whole bunch of Big Ten tournaments coming up, and we're going to dive into what's on the line for all of them today at Locked On Golden Gophers.
Hey,
You are Locked On Golden Gophers.
No matter what we're going to do here, we're just going to keep rowing.
Your daily podcast on the Minnesota
Whatever
Golden
turns out,
Gophers.
However it turns out, we're just going to keep rowing.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
We're just going to keep rowing, and keep rowing.
You're listening to Locked On Golden Gophers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name's Kane Rob, host of the podcast, former collegiate football video coordinator and recruiting assistant, here to talk Golden Gophers with you each and every day of the week. And today we've got a double episode for you. This morning we talked about the 4 stars on the Gophers football program in PJ Flex time and how they have panned out. Has it been a mixed bag? Has it been all hits? Has it been some misses? What has happened with the 4 stars? We talked about that this morning, so be sure to give that a look. Today, we're talking Big Ten tourneys when it comes to Gophers basketball, men's and women's, and Gophers hockey for the men. We're going to dive into it all, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any future Gophers videos. We've got that Gophers content, again, each and every day of the week, Monday through Friday, so you're going to want to be tuned in, tapped in, and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the fun. Now, be sure to like it as well, help others find the channel, and let me know your thoughts down below. Now, which tournament are you looking most forward to? Is it the girls here in Minnesota, in Minneapolis for the women's basketball team? Is it the hockey tournament with the number 1 squad in the Big Ten? Or is it looking for redemption with the boys and men's hoop, hoping to get maybe some upset victories early in the tourney? Tell me what you want to see down below in the comments, but let's dive in. Let's talk about all these different Big Ten tourneys we've got going on, and we've got to kick it off with the one and only men's hockey team. Pride on the ice, and it is absolute pride with what they are putting on that ice. It's quite the difference in Big Ten tournaments when it's coming between the men's hockey team and the men's basketball team. So we're definitely going to kick it off with the men's hockey team, who have a bye week this week because they're the number 1 seed in the entire conference. And they just wrapped up a regular season series sweep over Ohio State. And those 2 games were a tale of 2 different scenarios in which the Gophers still showed out and got it done how they needed to and came out with the victory. Now, game one versus Ohio State, I was there in the building and it was a blast. The energy was raucous, as it has been all season basically, but especially down the stretch. The Michigan series, the Michigan State series, the Ohio State series, Gophers fans have been showing up and showing out, and it has been an absolute devastating environment for opposing teams. Now, like I said, in game 1, I was there. It was loud, it was proud, but it was a scrappy, physical fight game. Like, there were multiple times where you thought, oh, these players might be actually going at it, getting ready to throw down, because it was just one of those games where a lot of hits, a lot of big plays happening throughout the entire time, and the refs were letting them play. So you like to see it, but it was a dogfight down to the middle of the mid-late second period. It was 0-0 all the way down to that point. And then the Gophers busted it wide open in the late second with 4 goals in the second period and ended up finishing the game winning 4-0. So the second period held all the scoring, but it was a thrilling game, especially those first 2 periods in game 1. Now, overall, Coaster on the defensive line had 2 goals. He had 4 points on the night, and he was balling in this game. Showed that the scoring can come from anywhere. It's not just that power line of Cooley, Snuggerud, and Nyes. It's not just the senior veterans that have come back. It's not just guys like Faber and things like that. It is literally anybody on this team has the ability to put up multiple points, and that is what makes this team such a challenge. From Jackson Nelson to Lacombe to Faber to Chesley when he's healthy, which he wasn't in this series, to younger freshmen like Connor Kurth and Brody Lamb. They can hit you from anywhere, and they are lethal from anywhere. Now, it was close Close was an absolute shutdown monster in game one. Nothing was getting past him. He was all over it, locked in, ready to go, focused on everything, and he was the best goalie by far in that game. And then on the flip side, for Ohio State, their goalie in game one was an absolute disaster. Dude was the flop of all flops. On top of kicking the net out of his post 5 times, like 1 or 2 times. Okay, you know what? Give it to him. Like it was just maybe the angle of the play. No, 5 times. Bruh, come on. And on top of that, he got an interference call and basically got a penalty drawn on him. They threw a different player in the box for him because he literally he pushed one of the Gophers players, then flopped over like he was the one who got pushed, got caught, got a penalty. There was another point later in the game where Kurth shot it, and after he saved it, he froze the puck, and then he basically reached out and hit Kurth, and somehow the refs missed that one. But that goalie was on something all night. He deserved to get thrown out of the game. He deserved to get absolutely destroyed like he did, and I was glad to see the Gophers absolutely dismantle Ohio State in game one. It was also great to see a healthy Faber on the ice again, and he was the first to get the Gophers on the board with a very sweet goal. Now you flip over to game 2 of this series, and Minnesota, they got down real early. They were down 2-0 after getting 2 major penalties on Matthew Nyes and Jimmy Snuggerud, playing in a 5v3 matchup for quite some time, and again giving up 2 goals and going down, but there was no panic, there was no breakdown, there was no fear. The team rallied, they came back, they tied it up, and then there was an absolute filthy goal to put the Gophers ahead 3-2. Cooley on the between the legs pass backwards from Matthew Nyes, drops it in the net, and like hang it in the Louvre. It was perfect. If you haven't checked it out, you must go on to Twitter or go on YouTube, look for a highlight of that goal because chef's kiss. But what we really saw in that game is the Gophers can stay composed and they can rally back and they can really come